This is the Chandrai Team Podcast, the eye-opening experiences for your ears, and you are listening to the Shadow Show, collecting knowledge around each other a little bit a day. Enhancing cognitive abilities is our work.
Hello everyone, for today we come back again in Shadow Show. At this moment, we are going to talk about the globalization of production. Alright, do you have some ideas about globalizations?
Yes, I know that word is a combination of the words globalization and localization, right?
That is the point. It is a word that is used to describe a product or service that is developed and distributed globally, but is also adjusted to accommodate the user or consumer in a local market. According to the term was coined in the Harvard Business Review in 1980 by sociologist Roland Robertson, who wrote that globalization means the simultaneity, the co-presence of both universalizing and particularizing tendencies.
Oh, that is an interesting. Can you give me more details?
Just my luck, I have been doing some research on this article that shows the globalization of production, the concept of globalization and its incorporation in global brands marketing strategies. Adapting global products and services has almost become a necessity for global corporations. Marketers must acknowledge this circumstance and channel their marketing effort in order to meet consumer needs, integrating each cultural particularity into their corporate philosophy. Consumers want brands that are both global and local, to feel like they are part of an international community, or global and local, so that they feel connected to their culture, respecting it, and representing their taste, feelings, and preferences.
I got your point. As Fanta offers different flavors around the globe, such as Fanta Chocata in Romania. Chocata or elderflower juice is a traditional Romanian beverage. Green apple Fanta in China and watermelon Fanta in Spain and Portugal. It is the product-based global strategy and the global promotion strategy like in the US market, Tesco, the British multinational grocery and general merchandise retailer, decided to take a very careful approach, making the decision to not operate under its usual brand name, but as Fresh and Easy Neighborhood Market. The decision was unexpected till the original name was successful in countries such as Romania, Hungary, Czech Republic, or Thailand. Is this right?
Yes, that is.
Another thing we want to add, if you want to listen to more interesting details about globalization in mobile games, you can join us to discuss and exchange your opinions in our clubhouse by following this QR code on the screen. For today, we have to say goodbye. See you next time on the Shadow Show. Before we leave for today, we would like to invite interested party to watch a clip and exchange your opinions with us. Let's meet at the clubhouse. Bye bye everyone.
จงสังเวยพลังแห่งอสูรให้ข้า ระบำแห่งความตายพลังแห่งผีตาโขนพวกเจ้า ไม่ใช่ศัตรูที่คู่ควร
Welcome everyone to join us. Both people who are interested in the issue of globalization, as we said in the podcast before, and people who are interested in our poster. At the end of the podcast, we have left a clip to invite you to think about globalization in mobile games, with each ROV or Realm of Valor. So, today we would like to address this issue by inviting everyone to exchange opinions with us.
Okay, let me first start. From the clip show part of the design work of Thai people, which Galina, this is the company that imports ROV games into Thailand, has organized a character skin design contest. So, Pita Khun that everyone has seen in the clip, it is a skin that Thai people have designed by bringing the tradition of the northeastern region of Thailand. So it's called Pi Ta Khon tradition, which is characterized by ugly looking masks by adapting to the original hero named Hayate, which already has similar characteristics. And this redesigned skin has adjusted the appearance of the costume and added Thai motif to the character's weapons. And what's interesting is that the skin can be used by players all over the world, not just in Thailand. So I think the combination of the local culture and the existing character in ROV is why it had become one of the games that have achieved access to the global market, also known as globalization.
Well, ROV is a role-play game or RPG game that focuses on role-playing. The attraction of ROV is mostly on the characters or heroes, which have a variety of characters for players to choose to play according to their satisfaction. There are a total of 60 characters in Thailand servers, with an interesting story in them, which Tencent company are created. So, all ROV's heroes have an individual different story, which the creators have blended from legends, tales, and stories from around the world to create the world of ROV, which installed in the side phone screen that fit with the hand. But it turns out to be a virtual world for gamers. Yeah, I find the stories of those heroes interesting because they are connected to the characters' motif that we know, especially characters from the legends and fairy tales, which represent the original and have been adapted to the modern world.
Alright, the character motifs that Kujin mentioned before are probably referring to a few details from the tale, narrations or lore which are connected with the character that are special or peculiar. It had been distinctive character until it has been inherited in any society. The adaptation in bringing the legends or mythology that people know from each area in the world to connect with character is like reflections of their own cultures or at the same time. For example, Ferris. Ferris is character who can point out the tiniest through her costume. The game language is called skin right, which bring the concept from Isan people belief about the serpent as a symbol of further and a protector, and adapted it into the game. So you will see a weapon as a king of nakeds for battle. I think it might be like the birth of new culture like Singlish or Tinglish. They are language modification by adding a local accent to increase our confidence in speaking. So this skin also adding to the culture we are familiar with, make the gamer feel more fun playing the game, and also spread culture out to people around the world through the global market.
But if you view from another perspective, This adaptation or new culture Dim says may cause misunderstanding of Thai culture in the sight of another foreigners because there are no same belief of Thai people in other culture. For example, Chinese may see Wallace costume as dragon rather than serpents because general Chinese belief in dragon with Wallace are similarly in appearance to the serpents. So I think this being locals into globalization could create misunderstanding in other culture because of the different belief and culture diversity of its area. Let me give you example of Garuda Senior is the national skin of Indonesia, which is Thai gamers see it. They might think that is it a Thai Garuda. However, this hero skin is influenced by Indonesia because Indonesia used Garuda as a national flag symbol, while Thai use Garuda as the emblem of the state. In fact, both countries are influenced by belief of India, and both countries make it their own through Brahmin and Hinduism.
As Kuntang mentioned, it is also called culture class when our culture spread in different culture. So, a culture that the receiver is unfamiliar with may be replaced by culture that they are familiar with. It leads to an assumption of similarities. We think that others are the same. In my view, it may be disadvantage of localization. When different areas have different cultural beliefs, some culture may be different, some culture may be the same or similar by adopting the same beliefs, legends, religions, or others. However, the game creator may well understand these cultural differences that transcend what intended to increase the option in the game. That the player can read the story and the origin of the character. This reduces the player existing culture barrier and reduce the misunderstanding of the culture of others.
In the narrative of Eastern culture, there are also recent stories within the game that were mentioned as well. For example, the character Illumia represents Hera in ancient Greek mythology. She was the only goddess with a power equal to Zeus in Olympus. The hero Illumia also wears a peacock featured outfit including her power, especially her ultimate skill called Cataclysm in the game, which look like lightning. From this point, it can be seen that the producer boasts outstanding legends from around the world that mix them into this game. This is one of the factors that make ROV very popular around the world and smoothly succeeded.
From the international game, the local culture and identity of each region appear within the game. It reflects the character story and thoughts. The design of costume, weapon, and effects cause us to look at ROV as a transformed immigrant who blended their culture with other culture when they are evacuated to another area. It can be said global transform into the local area. So, the feature of the character in game can reveal the identity, habitat, make the issue of cultural transformation of oneself to fit the society in which one lives, and adding oneself to any culture until a new culture occurs.